Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. God's own. I love that. I love that. That's what I have on my wrist. Ignore the ashiness. Can you see? God's own. Shelly, I can't even. Can I show you like this? Okay, there we go. God's own. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome. Come on in. Say hello when you come on. Say hello when you come on. Happy Thursday. Hey, Miss Nilechi, how are you? Happy Thursday. Sad one for you. What happened? What happened? It's never a sad one. Listen, God is in control. That's the one thing that never changes. I hope it gets better. Happy Thursday, everyone. Hello, Queen Khadija. How are you? Shaky Me 78. Is this Shaky or Shaky Me? Hi, Facebook family. Hi, YouTube family. Hello, TikTok family. Because this is a one big family. Mega Med Properties. Good evening. Why do I think I know that person? Why do I think I know that person? I don't know. Are you a client of mine? I've seen that username somewhere. You got denied. What got denied? What kind of case got denied? Someone makes a decision about denied doesn't mean that's the end of it. But you, yes, right? Okay. I just, I'm telling you. That's why my mom always says, "Root to me, MD." Have we met before? Root to me, MD. But anyway, hi everyone. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale Oma Baba Sam, immigration attorney based in K1. Visa got denied. Sorry to hear that. So when was that? That doesn't mean. Thank you. I love that. Denial doesn't mean the end. Try again. Let's see. So I don't know. Root to me, MD. I'm not sure if you're just joining us for the first time, but this is reshoot your shot. I'm always hearing your video. Thank you for your support. But here, this is where you come for encouragement and to know that the fact that something gets denied doesn't mean that's the end. You just have to figure out what is the next step. What is the next step? What is the option? Take it in. Sit through it, but don't sit on it. It says so. Don't let it take over your life. Just take it in, process it, and then put it before the altar of grace and say, okay, what is the next step? Trust me. But welcome in. If you are just joining us for this first time, welcome. This is a positive space that we come together as immigrants to encourage one another, share testimonies, motivate one another, and just give God his praise, give him the glory for being, gracious to us. Don't give up. Thank you, Miss Nelechi. I'm telling you, hey, God's favorite. This is where you come and people are going to encourage you. So, did you have an attorney help you? If you don't, have you consulted with an attorney? What are the options they've given you? Those are things that you set into motion and see and go from there. But anyway, so if we can help you with your immigration case, and we'll be glad to talk to you. Let me get my glasses. Listen, it drained me all day today. I booked an appointment with you. Oh, okay, but I couldn't get a closer date. Yeah, I don't have anything this week for sure. But if it's something next week, then we'll be able to talk to you about it. But don't let it. Listen, I'm someone who I have to, whatever it is, I have to process it. I've got to go through the motions, but I do not let it take over my entire life. No, it cannot control you. You've got to remember that there's nothing that you're going to face that God cannot take care of. There is no impossibility with God. That is not a word in his vocabulary. So there's nothing that you are going to go through that God has not already provided and or doesn't have a solution for. But if we can help you with your immigration case, our contact information is 334-341-4475. May 14 is just what next week Wednesday. That's not too long. If you just got denied today, that's not too long. But there's nothing I can do. That's my schedule. Hey, Mr. Sanctuary. 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Send us an email at info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. We'll be glad to represent you, work you through your immigration case. Good evening, Mr. Sanctuary. How are you? Hello, namesake. Let's talk immigration, y'all. Okay, so if you are coming to visit me in Alabama, anyway, as much as I would love to see your face, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒂𝒏𝒕. Don't come and visit me, because the people in my state, there's like there's no impossibility with God. Oh my, what's good? You know how you eat your ear and it really is so good. Okay. Well, see, 𝐸𝐿 they haven't taken care of themselves. They're worried about undocumented immigrants, because the state of Alabama, in all their wisdom, they've decided that they also want to follow in the steps of their orange father, right? Their orange father. And so they said one of the anti-immigrant bills that they decided to pass, and it has passed both their Senate and reps in state legislation, is if you are so this law would allow local law enforcement officers, even though immigration is federal practice, but because obviously who's going to stop them now? It's going to allow local law enforcement officers to just conduct to conduct traffic stops, which they already it's a problem in our state already, because I can't even tell you how, because I do criminal defense, and so whenever I have a case where someone was arrested, someone was charged with a crime based on an underlying traffic stop, the first thing you want to do is to see if there was a constitutional violation of their constitutional rights. What was the stop for? Was it a justified stop? Was there a constitutional right to even stop the person, let alone search the car, whatever the case may be, right? So if the stop was not justified, then we don't, everything else that comes after you're going to attack that. In this kind of situation, they're saying that if the law enforcement officer does a traffic stop and they have reasonable suspicion, then they can ask them to prove that they have a legal status in the country. And if you cannot prove it, then they will go ahead and turn you over to ICE. Alabama is one of the poorest states in the whole country. Like, they depend heavily on federal funds. And there are a lot of farmers in construction companies and all that, where they depend heavily on undocumented immigrants. Rather than try to help the people of your state, you've just made it even worse. So that's where we are. So if you're planning to come to Alabama anytime soon, and I'm keen from afar. But anyway, let's talk immigration, y'all. So what are we talking about tonight? Something that has been I don't even know how to say this. It's coming up so often. It's becoming an epidemic for real. And we need to stop this. We need to figure out what to do. So waiver or divorce decree. So if you're just joining us for the first time, you don't know, you're wondering, okay, you just stumbled upon this and like, okay, what are you guys doing? Is this immigration? How do we ask questions? Let us know what state, what city, what country you're joining in from. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, if you haven't followed us or shared or liked our pages, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. We'll be glad to have you as part of our social media family. 334-341-4475. Thank you for the heart. So just put your questions in the comment section, and we go through the questions at the end of what we talk about. So real quick, waiver or divorce decree. This has to do with, thank you, Miss Sanctuary. Waiver, hey, Miss Mary, waiver or divorce decree. What do I mean by that? This is what I mean by that. Now, I'm still on this topic of, don't forget, when you apply for a non-immigrant visa, whether it be a visitor visa, whether it be an F1 visa, and you are a single person, but the agent who helped you or family members, whatever, said, tell them you're married, because if you say you're married, you have a higher chance of being able to get the visa approved, right? And then you indicate that you're married. And whenever you do that, you have to put the name of a spouse, their address of that spouse, their date of birth. It's not as simple, are you married? No, it's a case of marital status. Then you've got to put in that person's information. So you've got to figure out the name of somebody to put in there. But then you get to the United States and you have forgotten completely that that was what you said in your non-immigrant visa application. And you apply for a green card, or you apply for an employment-based case, but usually it's most of the time when you apply for a marriage-based green card, right? And you tell USCIS, or even if an employment-based case, you file your I-485. It asks you how many times you've been married, and you say you've been married just one time to the American spouse. Or if you're getting your green card through employment, and so you're not getting married, your employer files for you, but you file your 485, and they ask you how many times you've been married, and you say one time. But then, or you say you've never been married because you're single. But then in your non-immigrant visa application, maybe your F1 visa application, you said you were married, you had a whole full name, you created a whole entire family that to create, right? That's what you told the consular officer. But then you come here and the kids and spouse have disappeared. Like the record does not go away. Hear me loud and clear. Whatever information that you have entered when you filed for your non-immigrant visa application does not go away just because you are not in the United States. It doesn't. If anything, it becomes part of your immigration record. So that when USCIS, so how does USCIS get access to it? Because it is an agency that is part of the Department of Homeland Security that has to make sure they do their due diligence before they give you permanent residency in the United States. They want to make sure you are someone who can be found admissible. And if there's anything in your record that makes them feel you're going to be inadmissible, then they have to make sure they have done their investigation. Part of the investigation is looking into your previously submitted applications, starting from when the very first time you made contact with the U.S. government. And if they see that this person said, oh, they've said in that green card application that they've never been married, but we see in their DS-160, not only were they married, they have the name of a spouse, they have children, they have like 200 kids, but none of that information is in here. That's where people get in trouble. So waiver or divorce decree. What I mean by that is, now that you now think about it and you remember that you said you were married back then, a lot of people will tell people that I get divorce decree, send divorce or do a divorce here and just submit that. But then that's where I come in, because then I've got quite a number of consults now where people come in and say, hey, I need to know, I have to be honest with you, this is what happened, and this is the situation I'm in. Okay, just 1 second. So we'll get to that. This is the situation I'm in. Should I get a divorce decree like I've been advised to? Or should I just come out and say that, I was never married, I misrepresented to be able to get an immigration benefit, and just know that they're going to ask me to file a waiver? Now, as an attorney, let me just be very clear. As an attorney, there is no one I'm going to tell to go get a divorce decree based on a marriage that never existed. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Hear me loud and clear. So that's not what I'm trying to tell you here. But whether or not you're going to get a divorce decree or a waiver is going to still depend on your specific situation. And here's what I mean by that. Sometimes you have people who already have a divorce document that they've submitted. Someone sent you a divorce document from Nigeria, from Ghana, from wherever it is, and then you submit that. Unfortunately, this is the issue a lot of people get into. They get that divorce document from someone someone sent them. It's someone who it just comes from nowhere. You get someone who sends your high court decree, and they forget to send your decree niece, and they only send your decree absolute. USCIS says, okay, where's the other part of it? Because this is what your country matrimonial causes act says. Then you are left like, okay, what do I do now? In trying to rectify that, you now get even much more complicated situation where you now send in something that is completely different from what you sent in. Now you are not only creating a situation where you're submitting a divorce document for a marriage that never existed, you've not even submitted fraudulent documents that's now complicated your situation, that makes them feel, well, maybe that marriage never actually happened, and that's why you really don't have a genuine document to submit. That's exactly what happened to one of the people that I met today. In their situation, the street lawyers told them, any consent, need divorce documents submitted. Okay, this is when the divorce happened. They submitted that. Unfortunately, they had a decree niece and decree absolute. And when you get a divorce from Nigeria, when it's a statutory divorce, high court divorce, you've got decree niece and decree absolute. The days between the niece and absolute cannot be less than 90 days. In her case, the decree niece, in his case, the decree niece has the same date as the decree absolute. You can't, it's impossible. That's not what the law is. There has to be at least a 90-day period. So if your decree niece and decree absolute has the same date that it was signed, a decree absolute niece became absolute on the same day of the decree. That right there is red flags all over, just flying. And so in the notice of intent to deny that he received, they outlined all of that. But here's the problem. When he submitted that, he now submitted yet another divorce document. And rather than submit a rectified high court decree document, he submitted a customary decree, a divorce decree. Just because of what people said. When he now got the notice of intent to deny, which they outlined, he now finally decided to consult with me. And at this point, he says, exactly, low back tone. It's not funny because it's someone's, but when he said, I was like, listen, what I think should be done at this point is just fess up and just be honest. You were never married. Because at the end of the day, when he says, still I will marry, if I knew, then I would just. So if you are someone who has never submitted anything that you're wondering, okay, how do I go about this? I don't even have a divorce. I will tell you, listen, if you've got the waiver, and here's why I said it depends on your facts. Waiver is going to be an option only if you've got a qualifying relative. Waiver is an option only if you have a qualifying relative. So if you're going to fess up and say, I was never married, I just said that in my immigration, my non-immigrant application, so I can get the visa. And I'm sorry, this is what I've done. Being in the United States, that doesn't define who I am, but I know I may be found inadmissible, and I'm going to file a waiver. But you can only have a successful waiver if you have a qualifying relative. If you do not have a qualifying relative, then you're not eligible to file a waiver. That means you're going to be inadmissible. Does that mean your only other option is going to be to submit a divorce document? That's completely up to you. But if you come to my office and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, I'm going to tell you we're going to submit a waiver as long as you have a qualifying relative. If you don't have a qualifying relative, then if you are someone who's filing a VAR case, for instance, which is his case, so we've got someone who has that's not how I'm going to say this without it being so complicated for him. But the good thing about his case is he's going to be his own qualifying relative. So if you are a VAR self-petitioner, unlike a regular marriage case where you have to get your child, your parents, or your spouse, as a VAR petitioner, you can be your own qualifying relative. You don't need another person so you can actually show file a waiver and show that the person who's going to suffer extreme hardship is yourself as a self petitioner. So that's another advantage of someone who may be found inadmissible as a vile self petitioner. So it would depend. So if you don't have a qualifying relative, then really it's going to be up to you whether you're going to submit whatever you want to submit, or you just count your losses and just accept that you may not get a green card. So that's why I said waiver or divorce decree. If you come to me as an attorney, I'm going to assess your situation and see what is the best situation for you. Now, most of the time, 95% of the time, by the time people come to consult with me, they've already submitted a divorce document. That's just the truth. Because a lot of people would listen to the street lawyers and then they submit a divorce document. In his case now, not only as he submitted a divorce document that was not, the same date, Nissan and absolute, then he turned around and submitted a customary court decree, and it was like, okay, how did we go from registry marriage to customary? So not only as he misrepresented that he was married when he was never married when he filed for his non-immigrant visa application, he has now submitted fraudulent documents. So we're dealing with misrepresentation and fraudulent documents. So you can't actually complicate things for yourself without even knowing that you're doing that. If you find yourself in that situation where you're trying to decide, sometimes filing a waiver may be as clean as it gets, as long as you have your extreme hardship evidence, you have a qualifying relative before you even file anything. That's the best time to consult with a lawyer. If you know, marry, married, and you're going to now file whatever basis you're filing an I-485, asylum, marriage, survivor, employment, whatever the case may be. If you know that's you, consult with a lawyer before you submit anything to USCIS. That's going to be your best bet. So let's just, is it going to stop that people are going to keep saying they're married when they apply for non-immigrant visa? Probably not. It's been going on for decades. But just don't forget, if you did that before you file anything here, so you don't complicate things for yourself. That's all. That's all I'm here to say tonight. And any tabawi fun oluwajogbo, right? Am I right? It was he who has ears, let him hear. The word is enough for the wise. That's all. And that's what she wrote. Okay, let's get to questions. Hey, Miss Collins, how are you? Let's get to questions. Hi, everybody. Addison, hi. Let me put this. Hold on 1 second. Let me hide this. Okay, there we go. All right, so questions in the comment section. Disclaimer, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. Please do not repeat questions. It makes it a lot easier and faster to go through them. My stepdaughter under 18 is scheduled for an interview for I-130. What should she expect? Questions relating to the relationship between the step parent and her biological parent, or and if it's just the I-130, then obviously the petitioner has to go. If it's the I-485, then it would be questions regarding her admissibility. They hardly schedule interviews for children under the age of 18. But with this new administration, if you file an I-485, you should expect to have an interview. But without knowing more facts about the facts surrounding what the basis of the petition is, as the biological parent also, does the biological parent have their own green card yet, and all that? Those are questions that you get answered in the consultation. And if you are uncertain about going without a lawyer, then that's probably your cue to get a lawyer to go with her. Hello, Visutola, how are you? Okay, let's go to TikTok. Let's see. Hello, TikTok family. What's going on? What's going on? Okay. Notifying viewers. Hello, woman of faith. Hello, thank you. Talking of faith, y'all. Do y'all remember that there was a time that I told you that I was dealing with something in my personal life that I did not see coming? So how do I say this? It was something that the person that I shared life with at one point in my life wanted to file something that would affect my license, my livelihood, everything. Hmm. 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 And this has been going on for 3 months. Yeah. And when I tell you that, you see, you do not fight your enemies by yourself. You fight your enemies on your knees. You fight your enemies on your knees. See, people see you smiling and all that. You don't know what people are going through. But I refused to be brought down. I had my moments. But when I got into those situations where fear wanted to take over, because we all have our prayer closet. I have, like, in my home, in my bedroom, I've got two closets in my room. So one of my closets, I have a corner right there that it's fire between me and God. Like anointing oil will wear. Just so I knew that the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You would fight for you and you would hold your peace. Peace be still. And then it's been going on. Every month I've just been saying, but this weekend I decided that I was going to really be intentional about my fasting. And I said, this May, I said it's the month. You remember we're talking last week, is the month of renewals. Let me just share this testimony. I said it's a month of renewals. I said renewed faith, renewed favor, renewed breakthroughs, renewed defense. And Sunday was me and God. That first Sunday was me and God. Like, okay, this month, I don't know how you're going to do it, God. I don't know what you're going to do, but I know that I am going to receive before the dates that was coming up for there's the upcoming date last week of the month. I said before that date, there's going to be a resolution in my favor, because you are the God of vindication, and there is no battle that I'm going to face that you have not already won. No, it was when you get to the point where you say enough is enough. I don't care how we're going to do it, and I let it be. I think that was the very first time in the last 3 months where my sister-in-law also, we prayed together. We did like 3-day prayer together and all. But that was the first time in the last 3 months where I actually got up and I felt when you feel some kind of peace, that that, okay, I'm not going to worry about this anymore. And when I tell you that, then I had to get a lawyer out of that. My lawyer called me yesterday and said, Abby, you don't have to worry. Everything has been dropped. Hmm. So I say all that to say this. When I each morning, and that's why that was the thing that was on my mind this morning. Hey, that when you remember that you serve a God that does not have the word impossibility in his vocabulary, your faith is renewed again and again and again and again. There is no impossibility with God. And so over and over, day after day, he shows me that there is nothing, because God knew that was just false accusation because of things that have started in their life. And I was like, wow. But I knew when I got up Sunday, I said, it's not, unless there is no God. When he says he would fight for me and he is the one who would vindicate you. I was, and I looked back, I was like, wow. So I say that to say this: whatever it is you may be going through, and Inka, just hold on. Denial is not, that is man deciding. That's not God's decision for you. That's what a man has decided. That's not what God has decided. So let it be that you take it in, but wait for God's final decision. So when his final decision comes, it's going to be in your favor. It cannot be against you. It cannot be against you. There's no record of failure with God. There's no record that he does anything that does not end well for his children. It says all things will work together for your good. And I've seen it happen in my life in situations. I mean, I went to work this morning feeling like, buying lunch for everybody. Like, they were like, what's going on? I said, don't worry. Hey, just leave it alone. So just hang in there. It shall be well. It shall be well. It shall be well. It shall be well. So as long as your heart and your conscience is clean before God and it is right before God, leave it at the altar of grace. Let it go. Leave it there. Don't get on your knees fighting the battle and then get up with the same burden. It makes no sense. You're getting on your knees, so you're letting it go. You're leaving it at the altar of grace so that when you get up, your yoke is lighter, your burden is light, and you know you have left it with him. Let him handle it. Joy comes in the morning. All right. I went for married interview now. It's been 70 days, still nothing. What can I do? They usually have 120 days, so you're still within that 120-day period. If they deny the N400 for suspicion of fraud marriage, but after the N336, they granted it. So what's the question? If they deny, okay, they granted. What's the question, Michael? You're still just saying this. You're making a statement. What's the question? Excuse me. What do you do in that case? In what case? Permanent resident arrested for DV, got a plea offer of littering. Am I in trouble if I accept it? There's no telling, because there's a lot that goes into the analysis of you accepting the plea. Your best bet is to get an attorney who also does immigration in your state, who can understand what the consequence of that plea is going to be, the impact of it when it comes to your immigration and your green card. Do you do cases in New Jersey? Yes, I represent immigration clients in all states. We are located in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all states. And talking of another, listen, hey, don't even let me start a church in here, God. I just remembered Mr. Kevin. I don't know if you're here. If you're here with me, Mr. Kevin, God is faithful. God is faithful. Just on the same run, my client, I've known him for quite a number of years now, but we could not do anything on his case because there was someone who falsely accused him of a very, very heinous crime that prevented him from even renewing his green card for 6 solid years. Could not do anything. And then just like that, the charges were dropped against him. And as soon as he called me, he goes, Miss Olole, the charges have been dropped. But that was not the end of the story, because now we were going to have to file for citizenship, which he had already qualified for like years ago. So we filed for citizenship last year. And I think it was December. Finally got his interview today. Affidavits from the person who falsely accused him. But, we had to put all of that in to explain that this was dropped. But because of the type of crime that he was accused of, we knew it was going to be. And I had to get my one and only go-to in Atlanta, attorney Kamaluddin. Shout out to her. She's just if you're looking for another attorney who's as feisty as I am, that's her. That's my one and only go-to in Atlanta. Prepped him, was ready to take her. And when I tell you, and I sent him an email yesterday, I said, we've prepped you. You've been prepped. We can't prep you more than this. But at the end, I said, go with God. Go with God. Go with God. There's nothing more powerful than that. And he called me this morning. He gave me all Olole. It was like favor showed up for me. The officer was so nice. And yes, she asked about this. And she goes, oh, what happened? And I explained to her very, very short. And he goes, okay. We're recommending for approval for your N400. I am very, very close to tears right now, but there is God. There is a God. There is a God. There is a God. There is a God. He would defend you. He is the ultimate defender. And if he has started that in your life, he will complete it. There is nothing he starts that he cannot finish. There is nothing. There's no unfinished business with God. He's not in the business of being an unfinished business. He starts it, he completes it, so that his glory alone shall be shown. So congratulations to Mr. Kevin. And I pray that our testimonies will know no bounds. It will be beyond boundaries and bountiful and in abundance, because there is a God. There is a God. My daughter will turn 21 in August. When can I start adjusting her status? I have advanced parole. I have AP through DACA. My daughter will turn 21 in August. When can I start? What do you mean? When can you start? I'm not understanding your question. So if your daughter's turning 21 in August, okay, are you saying your daughter is your daughter a citizen? I don't understand what you're asking me. Because that's the only thing that would make sense. I can't pronounce your name. I don't want to kill your name. Are you saying your daughter is going to be 21 years old in August, and she is a citizen? You are on DACA, but you not have a legal entry because you were able to get advanced parole, and have you used an advanced parole? So if you've used the advanced parole and you're not having legal entry, you're asking if when your daughter turns 21, can she go ahead and file for you? Is that what you're asking? Who is a qualifying relative? Depends for 601 purposes. Child, parent, spouse, green card holder, or citizen. Can I hire you? I'm in Maryland. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Can I hire you? Okay. Can you travel? Anything about traveling? I don't answer questions about travel. Direct that question to your attorney. If you come through from Mexico border, you married, please, how long will it take for the I-130 to get approved? You're coming through the Mexico border and getting married has nothing to do with your I-130 processing time. The processing time is processing time. It depends on if it's a standalone, if you're, so in your case, it's a standalone. I go on USCIS.gov processing times. Permanent rights, okay, I already answered the question. Applied for I-130, I-485 by itself. Can I apply I-754 now? Do you have a 2-year green card already? Is it time for you to apply for the 10-year green card? That's the only thing that would make sense while you're asking for a 751. Promise to file out battles. Yes. It's a possible for nisi and absolute to have 90 days between them, but they have both signed out. But they are both signed out by court same dates. You can't be signed both on the same dates when one is supposed to be 90 days before the other. That's the whole point. Unless you're getting certified. I mean, you cannot, the NISI should have been signed when the NISI was entered. And then that's 90 days before the absolute. Okay. We have an interview family base coming up in 19 years old, and my husband is working the problem, or it's forgiven and over. We have an interview family base coming up 19 years old. And so you're 19 years old? Your husband is working the problem. So you filed for your husband? User Chubby Ann, did you file for your husband and you are a citizen? Like there's a whole lot. Y'all have to help me out with information. Help me out. Okay. If the immigration status say your VAR case is transferred to another office, what? That's just part of the normal adjudication process of VAR. Thank you, Davia. Okay. User, as I'm trying to see if you're going to complete here. Why do you overstay your visa and only just married after 5 years to change? Interview. Why did you overstay your visa and how do you answer this question of the interview? That's not the question I'm answering. If you want to prepare for an interview with a lawyer, then that's what you do. Okay. All right. Let's see if I go to Instagram. Thank you. Thank you, Francis. Permit me to say this: when eventually you retire from law practice, please be prepared to be a good pastor. I know. You speak such a great words. I'm not that saved. I'm saved, but not that saved. Salvation may go to pastor level because if you're a pastor, you can't cuss people out. And I still reserve that right to cuss people out, especially when you're raising kids. Because no, let me be done raising TJ first. Then we can talk about it because I reserve that right. But thank you. No, thank you. Because it's when people say it's easy to encourage people, but you need, if you're not going to, but no, you don't know what other people are going through. So the encouragement is not just for you, for it's also for me, because those are things that I have so many uh you know um gospel pages that I follow, just motivational spiritual, because you got to the way the devil tries to play with your mind. If you don't account, you're constantly making sure it's not, doesn't mean you're not going to have fear, you're going to have doubts and worry. It's just normal. It's just what comes with living, like, but you have to now keep rotating that and cleaning that out with faith, with with scriptures and affirmations, and making sure that you're renewing you're renewing your mind each and every time, so that you do not fall captive to what the enemy wants you to, which is to be living in fear each and every day. Now you got to speak into that fear, and you got to command fear, and know that you have the power to trample upon serpents and scorpions, and upon the head of the enemy, and just crush it. Let me even start. By the way, can you tell I used to go to MFM at some point? I used to go to MFM at some point. Yeah. So all that combined together. Okay, let's see. So 𝐸𝐸, just hang in there. Just hang in there. Okay. This morning did not at 7 a.m. So that's 14th is just killing 8. Okay, so if you're scheduled with me on the 4th, then that's just 5 days from now. Come on now. I don't listen. My schedule is, I just get up Monday morning like, okay, what do I have today? Because if it's sufficient for the days of trouble there, I've already have to deal with the whole week. Let me be done 1 week, so I don't even know what my schedule is next week. I have to go to court on Saturday because I represent Department of Children's Services in Alabama as well. So we just picked up a kid from the house today, and we have so I also have a hearing by state law. So court is on Saturday, so I can't think beyond that right now. It drained you all day. Don't worry. Don't worry. Take it in, look at it again, see if there was something you could have done better, reshoot your shot, or maybe that is not even the path God wants. Also seek help. Exactly. So God is in control. God is in control. I've never said those words and that line more than I've ever done in the last 3 months. God is in control. When that fear comes, you just say it. God is in control. God is in control. I shall not labor in vain. All that I have suffered, all that I have worked for, because He has given me grace, no one shall taint it. No one shall make me a disgrace. No one shall make me a disappointment. If anything, before their eyes, they will see the elevation that God will bring into my life. Before their eyes, they will have the front row seat to see how God will lift you up and see you rise beyond and above, where you remain untouchable to them. So God is in control. God is in control. So you can just know God is in control. But at the end of it all, we should also know that His will alone shall be done. Oh, Plenty 01 from Texas. Hello, how are you? Did you just redo your hair? No, it's someone asked me that question today. No, it's almost 2 weeks. So 2 weeks this weekend. But for whatever reason, I think that changing the style and having to do the cornrows all over again, it stretched it out. So I don't know. I'm not a long hair girl. I'm a short, but I don't want to cut it because it would be very impulsive. 'Cause I'm like that. But yeah, the people in Alabama are wonderful. Ghanaian wife, right? There's a whole lot that we should be doing, but we're worried about undocumented immigrants that are actually helping the economy. They can make sense. You wonder why people are not the smartest. I'm just saying. Anyway, how does this last friend call me again? But my son, biological mom, biology. Ah, currently ongoing in Nashville. So it's always in the southern states. It's always, of course. Where else? Yeah. Good evening, God's favorite. My day was fine. How was your day? It's always in the southern state. Hello, epic movement. What's going on? Let's see. Tay Joe, my baby boy. Hi, Sissy Lawyer. If you say Sissy Lawyer one more time. See why I can be a pastor yet? Because although I thought today was Friday when I woke up, it feels like Friday. Actually, it feels like Friday. It feels like Friday. This month is moving really fast. Where is it not? Like we're already in the middle of mid next week. Like I don't know, May it's not run so fast. May is fast, but this week from Tuesday was usually slow. Really? Maybe because I was on it. Oh, how are you feeling now? Good evening, Nimota. How are you? Um, Something scary happened in my church WhatsApp group today. A lady received a notice of intent to fine. According to her, she stayed back and went after her. Yes, God's favorite. So thanks for bringing that up. It is scary. It's we're living in very uncertain times, and we pray more now than ever. People are actually getting that notice of intent to fine and telling them they're going to be paying certain amounts because they were ordered removed, but they never left. And so there was one of my colleagues whose client received, I think it was 2 point something million dollars that they said they're being fined. So this is something I've been practicing immigration law for almost 10 years. Hey, baby, you want something? For almost 10 years, never ever seen this kind of thing before. So yes, I hope she has a lawyer. God's favor. I'm even as lawyers, we're trying to figure out what is the next step. I mean, what is it? The decree needs and actually is what's putting me in. Okay. Um, what if you are married and husband is not responsive and been separated for over 5 years? What if? What is? So what is your what is the question on that? Get it right before this not deal with an attorney. Thank you. Is it possible for Nisi and Absolute to be signed? Okay, I think that's the same person. But why would the court sign I've seen that become an issue with USCIs, and I know what you're talking about. They sign the absolute, and the date of the NICI is also the date on the absolute. Usually that happens when people get amended divorce documents, but the NICI usually should have been signed when the NICI was issued, and then absolutely signed 90 days after. That would be what makes sense, so there are no red flags. But if you have both signed at the same, you've got to have an explanation why the NICI wasn't signed 90 days before. Does that make sense? Because that's just going to create, that's going to tell them that you probably had an issue with your initial. That's probably not your initial divorce documents. So, but maybe the lawyer to even to discuss that in full. Only when okay, misunderstanding English explanation in English. Wow. Okay. What does that mean? Okay, is that what it means? Okay. Go sleep, it's not hard. Fight your enemies on your knees. Yes. Hmm. He is more than enough for us. There is no shortage of his mercy. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. No impossibility, God. You don't know you are God's last one. That's annoying. God's favorite. God will keep fighting for you. Amen. What you already have on your wrist every single day. God's own. You have on your um shoulder. Is it upper arm? Jeremiah 29:11. That's my badge each day. And untouchable. Untouchable. You can try, but you cannot succeed as long as God remains God. Mm. He would fight for you and you would hold your peace. I'm married and I filed for AB1 and was approved. Congratulations. But in the I-45, I'm filing alone without my partner as we might get a divorce in the future. Will this affect my filing for the adjustment status? Who is the, so you are the principal applicant, right? Lizzie BB. So if you are the principal applicant, I'm not seeing how that's going to affect you. The person who's going to be affected is if you get divorced before if you get divorced before your partner files their I-485, because then that may make them no longer eligible. So, but without knowing more information about your case, then it's just, please keep in mind, this is just general information. There really isn't any way to be detailed unless you have a one-on-one consultation. Okay. Hello, Miss Malavi. How are you? I'm telling you, Miss Malavi, every single time we get mail, I'm looking for yours. But to be honest with you, we haven't received, and because I know it's going on 3 months now, and I'm getting very frustrated myself. So I can only imagine what you're feeling like. But the cases that we filed about the same time we filed yours, out of all those cases, we only had one that we got the receipt notices back. So that gives me some kind of peace. So if you're still here, let me know that you can hear me. But I just know that I haven't forgotten about your case. I want you to have those receipt notices as quickly as possible. Because then, we're doing biometrics and it's just crazy. I don't know what's going on with the bio office, but let's just wait and see. Hello, Finance Yani 𝒂𝒏𝒕. 𝒂𝒏𝒕. Yes, Mr. K, I'm telling you there's nothing like it. That's I call him my adopted brother. My clients, because when you know that someone is, you can't explain what it feels like as an immigrant to go through this journey. It's a different kind of feeling when you've gone through immigration process. You can relate to someone. I can literally say I can relate. Our journeys are different because we apply for different things, but you can relate. So you know what it feels like to just be waiting and hoping and praying and just, yeah. So, well, I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that everyone was happy for him. Hello, Mr. Lani. It was great to talk to you as well today. If on your USCIS account, your progress says interview completed, but you have not been called for interview, and your case status stays in USCIS is actively reviewing your case, then what is your question, Lookie Crown? What's the question? Which one do you stand with? Interview completed, that is just, it's computer generated. So you can't actually still get an update that says we scheduled you for an interview. So, yeah. Hello, Miss Prince. How are you? Nice to see you as well. That is just Miss Peggy Dale. Can I reopen my file case after denial and appeal date has expired? Unless you can show that it was something beyond your control, but you generally know. If you're still able to file a new one, then you can. Come share your positive stories to encourage others. Drop it in the comment section to encourage those on this journey. Yes, absolutely. Happy Mother's Day. This is you. Oh, okay. That's some mushy stuff for tonight. When I found you online on that day in 2021, my testimony in life has not remained the same. Okay, now you just want to make me cry because you already know that I'm this close to it. But it's been 4 years since I've known you, Miss Elena Sanctuary. It's been 4 years. I can never forget I can never forget. She was sitting on the floor, right? You were sitting on the floor. She had cut her hair. I don't know if you just cut your hair out of distress or you just cut your, you were trying to, I don't know what it was you were doing with your hair, but it's now I can laugh. But where she looked like, okay, where do I go from here? I'm glad. I'm glad that we found each other. I'm glad that we found each other. My vow was 3 years last week, but yet to get any response. No RFP is advisable to reach out now. It's just 3 years last week. No, because it's still within normal processing time. Put in your dates, your priority dates, and it will tell you exactly what date your case is going to be considered to be outside normal processing time. I remember when you said, by the grace of God, before your EAD will expire, you will get your green card. And just like that, God sealed it. I didn't even have to renew my SIN before. This is true. This is true. We thank God. God is faithful. God is faithful. God is faithful. This is my testimony with this press for real, but God, He used this gem. Okay, let's. I don't do well with compliments. I don't. A lot of people don't know one thing about me. I'm actually very, very shy. Believe it or not, I'm very shy. Ask my mama. I don't like attention on me. I talk a lot, so you're like, okay, but I'm very shy. Like I'm the kind of person that I don't want, I don't bring attention to me. Just let me be. Yeah. Your testimony was loud. We thank God. Happy Mother's Day to every mother doing tremendous and wonderful job out there. Yes, we all are. Till you don't see it. My power has not gotten to the Ice is looking for that. Listen, if I shine the Magbe, next plane to Maryland, because thank you. Okay, I already answered that question. So many people advising on the group I gave them number to look consideration with you. Oh, that's a real thank you. Okay. I am Epic Movement. When do you want to start your citizenship application? That's my issue with you now. He means he that has it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm trying not to listen to his question. Okay, gotta go. Helping her H1 moves to the next stage before she has to leave. What is the status on her case, Epic Movement? What is she doing? That's just awful. Okay, how do you divorce a husband that is not reachable when you have been separated for over 5 years? Serve him with the last known address, which probably nobody is going to sign for, and then you do service by publication, which all states, every state in the United States, you can do that. But you have to show the court that you've attempted to serve them. You came back unclaimed, and then you do service by publication. In my state, in Alabama, you have to do that for 4 weeks, and I think that's most states. And after it runs and still nobody responds, then you file a motion for default judgment in court, and then the court will grant you a divorce. That's generally a summary of how it goes. Thank you. Yes, Epic Movement, you need to start now than later, for real. She's just waiting for this the H1B. Okay, but anyway, okay, people. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, and yes, Sunday is Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day. They approved her H1B leave. Oh, did they decide to extend? I thought you said they were not going to extend it. Did they decide to extend it? Epic Movement. Did they decide to extend it? That would be great news. But happy Mother's Day to all you deserving, all of us deserving mothers, because I'm telling you, there is nothing like a mother. There is nothing like a mother. Happy Mother's Day. You know, we birth these children, we nurture them, and we pray that, you know, I don't know, I'm sure most of you have heard also this family where this beautiful young lady came from the UK to study nursing in the United States. She's a Nigerian. She's, I think, first generation British Nigerian, and then she came to the U.S. She was actually born in the U.S., but she grew up in the UK, and came back to the U.S. to go to nursing school, just about to graduate. Can you imagine what her mother is feeling? As we remember, mothers in situations like that, we pray that we would never have to be in situations that way, as we pray that God gives comfort to mothers in dealing with that. But our labor over our children should not be in vain. We shall not labor over them in vain. We shall not labor over our children in vain. As they grow, as they grow, may they excel in all that their hands find to do. As they grow, may they succeed and stand out and be marked for signs and wonders. Wherever the soles of their feet go, God will go with them. He will go before them. He will make room for them. Their gift that He has imbibed in them will make room for them. They will never be a disgrace to us. We shall never be disappointed over our children. But in all that they do, they shall find favor. They will find favors. Favor will speak on their behalf. Favor will go before them. The number of their days God shall fulfill. None of our children's lives will cut short. None of our children's lives will cut short. Bible says, there shall nothing cast our young. We shall not know their grave. We shall not know their grave. Their going out and their coming in shall be permanently protected. And as God has called us to be mothers, we shall remain blessed. No one will take our place on the day that our children are being celebrated. It will be before our own eyes. God will bless us as mothers and give us many decades of great health and wealth, that no one will take our place. We will sit in our rightful places on the day our children are being celebrated. On the day of their achievement, we will be the ones to be there. Nothing that we have sacrificed over these children, shall be in vain. So shall it be. A happy, happy Mother's Day, each and every wonderful, blessed Proverbs 31 woman. Know that your joy over your children shall be full. Our joy over our children shall be full. We will look at them each and every day, and they will bring joy to our lives. We will look at them each and every day, and we will thank God for giving them to us, and for giving us the privilege that He has entrusted in us to take care of these souls. And they shall not be snatched away from us at a young age. All that they have been called to be, they shall be. So shall it be. And be celebrated. Let whatever it is, take it on Sunday. Put your feet up. You deserve it. No work. I'm talking to myself. Point down to yourself. No work. Be celebrated because we deserve it. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody. Bye, everyone.